Dalton Connect is the first-round pick from last week's draft. Bronny James, well, he was in the spotlight. No surprise. The eldest son of LeBron's was the 55th overall pick after one season at USC where he dealt with a heart issue and played 25 games. It has been his dad's dream that they play together. Here's Bronny on the expectations of coming into the league with the James name.
For sure, amplified amount of pressure. I've already seen it. Stuff, media and stuff in the internet and stuff, talking about I might not deserve an opportunity, but I've been dealing with stuff like this for my whole life. So it's nothing different, but it's more amplified for sure. But I can get through it.
Bronny has earned this, right? Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work, and for us, prioritizing player development, we view Bronny as like case study one, because his base level of feel, athleticism, point of attack defender, shooting, passing, there's a lot to like about his game. And as we sort of build out our player development program holistically, he's going to have a great opportunity to become an excellent NBA player.
On the scene is Dave McMenamin, who didn't leave his wallet in El Segundo, but he's covering the Lakers there. You were at the press conference. Describe the scene for us.
First of all, Kevin, LeBron James and Savannah were both there to support their eldest son, Bronny, but they weren't center stage. There were a row of empty seats in front of where Rob Pelinka, J.J. Redick, Dalton Connect, and Bronny James were sitting in front of the media, and LeBron and Savannah opted not to sit in those seats, rather off to the side to leave the spotlight towards their son. You also heard that word from J.J. Redick, development. Develop or development was said 18 times in today's press conference by J.J. Redick, Bronny James, Dalton Connect, and Rob Pelinka, as we are trying to recognize, or they are trying to get the media to recognize, that this is not a quick fix. This will be a process for both of these young rookies. And also, there's a ton of attention already. There was significantly more reporters in the building today than there was a week ago for J.J. Redick's introductory press conference. So there will be intrigue and interest as Bronny James takes his first steps in the NBA.
Okay, so what's now next in this process or development for Bronny?
Well, first of all, he's got to come to an agreement on a contract and sign it with the Lakers. Last year, we saw picks in the 50s sign multi-year contracts, and Lakers, they certainly expect Bronny to be a full-fledged member of the team, meaning a non-two-way guy, but that actually has to get inked. Then a few days from now, the Lakers Summer League team will go up the coast to San Francisco to play their first game in the California Classic on Saturday against the Sacramento Kings. Expect to see Bronny in the lineup then, along with Dalton Connect, but no J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick said he'll kind of be advising from the sides as he tries to fill out his staff. You'll get the Lakers South Bay G League coach Dane Johnson coaching the team both in San Francisco and then in Las Vegas next week.
Keep in mind, when they're on the floor together, maybe in the fall, this will mark the first time a father-son duo has played in the NBA at the same time in league history. Dave, thank you so much.
Kevin, we're currently the meat in an insider sandwich.
Woo!
We've got our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. We've got our front office insider, Bobby Marks, with us now. Woj, what's the next decision for LeBron and the Lakers moving forward?
Well, the Lakers have been trying to see if there was a player of some impact that they could bring in using their mid-level exception, but they've got to get the payroll down to be able to use that $13 million mid-level exception, and that LeBron James would be willing to take less money on his contract to help him get there. But the players that they identified, Klay Thompson, James Harden, Jonas Valanciunas, they've gone by the boards, and it was always going to be a long shot to get those players at that price. And so I think it's a very limited market out there. It is a limited trade market. Unless you want to put draft picks with contracts to get money off, you're going to have trouble really adding to your roster. I don't expect the Lakers to look a whole lot different on opening night than they do now. That there's some moves around the edges. I don't sense there's a big impact move out there for the Lakers or very many teams right now.
Well, Ellie, when you look at it, if LeBron signs that max contract starting at $50 million, they would essentially have to move $25 million in salary just to go out and try to get a player like DeMar DeRozan at $13 million. So you're looking at D'Angelo Russell, you're looking at Gabe Vincent. They only have 4 second-round picks to trade. They have those 2 picks in the first round, 29 and 31. They're not trading those picks just to get off salary. They're even reluctant to move second-round picks to move off those 2 players. And there's 2 teams that have cap space. Utah at $34 million and Detroit. So that's who they would have to dump those 2 players to.
Okay, he mentioned Utah. They've got a guy here as the dust is settling, Lauri Markkanen, kind of on the board for best available player on the trade block. What are you hearing?
It's Utah's preference is to not trade Lauri Markkanen, but they've got to listen right now. They're kind of where the Brooklyn Nets were with Mikal Bridges. They've spent time. Can we find that second really good player to go with him? Yeah, Bridges, Markkanen, they're not stars. You're not going to build your whole organization around them, but they're really, really good players who go with stars. And I think for Utah right now, they're listening. And once Bridges went off the board to the Knicks, teams who do want a big impact forward like Lauri Markkanen, they're calling. They're offering multiple picks. And if you're the Jazz, you look at what the Nets are doing. The Nets are going to be chasing that number 1 pick next year. Do the Jazz want to take that step down? They have lots of picks moving forward. I think it's going to take a lot to get him out of Utah, but teams are calling. Sacramento has shown interest, New Orleans, Memphis at different times, San Antonio. But you have seen in Utah, whether it was the Rudy Gobert trade, Donovan Mitchell, they have held out for a very high standard for players they've traded. They're doing that with Markkanen now.
Keep an eye on August 6th. He's eligible to have his contract renegotiated. So Utah can take some of that cap space of that $34 million. They can bump it up to the max allowable. He's at an $18 million contract right now. Then they can extend him off here. So keep an eye on August 6th. The danger in trading for him is that it's unlikely he's going to sign an extension. It's 4 years, 113. It's below market value. So if you trade for him, he's going to have to play out the year and then become a free agent next offseason.
Okay, keep in mind, Markkanen averaged over 23 points and 8 rebounds for Utah last season. On a team not very good, he stood out. Fellas, thank you so much.
You'll take that production. Also, some big moves for the Cavs today. Adrian Wojnarowski reports that they are keeping star Donovan Mitchell with a 3-year, $150.3 million max extension that includes a player option for the 2027-28 season. Since trading for him a couple of years ago, Cleveland's made the playoffs in consecutive seasons. The extension well earned because just last year he set career highs in several areas, including rebounds and assists per game. In fact, he was one of just 7 players to average 26 points in 6 times, but he did miss 27 games, mostly due to knee issues, and the team's performance dropped significantly without him in the lineup, Kev.
Tuesday, the Cleveland Cavaliers tacking 3 more years onto Donovan Mitchell's deal at $50 million per. The max extension comes with a player option in year 3 and sets Spida up to reach the league's 10-year service criteria, which would then set him up for that supermax in 2027. You factor in that Darius Garland handcuff contract, and it's likely to be the Spida show for the years to come. Since acquiring Mitchell from Utah at the deadline 2 years ago, the Cavs back-to-back trips to the postseason. CBS NBA analyst John Gonzalez in with more. John, this seems like little more than housekeeping here from Cleveland for Mitchell. Now a heap of guarantees in front of him and plenty yet to play for when you look at what he could be in line for in 2027. How does this team take the next step forward around Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there were whispers, rumors that Rich Paul, who represents Darius Garland, might want him to move on if Donovan Mitchell came back, because that fit was a little wonky. But that has since quieted down. I think they might actually hold on to Garland. Previously, people had floated maybe the San Antonio Spurs would be a good landing spot for him, but now they bring in CP and then Stephon Castle. The Magic don't have a lot of wiggle room, although they could use a guard who can shoot. The Pelicans would have been a good fit, but they just went and got DeJounte Murray, and then the Kings are looking to add, but I think they might have designs on Lauri Markkanen or maybe Brandon Ingram. So I think they might end up holding on to Darius Garland. How do they improve? I think unplugging one of the 2 bigs, either Evan Mobley or Jarrett Allen, makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Evan Mobley played really well when Jarrett Allen was out during the playoffs last year. And we were just talking about the Pelicans. The Pelicans need a center. They're talking about moving Brandon Ingram. I think a swap there makes a lot of sense. but we'll see what happens. Yeah, they definitely need to upgrade, though, Joe, because the Eastern Conference, especially at the top, we already saw the Boston Celtics. They're loaded 1 through 5, 1 through 6, just won an NBA championship, steamrolled their way to title number 18. And then the Sixers and the Knicks both got considerably better. So the Cavs, it's great that they re-signed Donovan Mitchell, but they still have work to do.
You piqued my interest there with that BI thought process. Would be an interesting pairing there for Mitchell. I know we love to ride your Philly waves of emotion, but I'd like to pivot to my personal apathy for a moment. The Bulls seemingly stuck in purgatory once again. No market reported for Levine. Haven't heard much on Derozan either. Why so little chatter on the ladder for Derozan? I know LA needs shooting, wouldn't really fit that need, but a hometown guy could be value at this point for the Lakers. What's the latest you're hearing on Derozan?
Yeah, I mean, DeMar, everybody is, I guess, kind of expecting that it will be the Lakers because he's the biggest name available and the Lakers want to add. I just wonder, as you mentioned, about the fit, right? Because he doesn't shoot the three. That's never been his thing for his entire career. For his career, he's sub 30% from beyond the arc, so that's not great. Now, on the other hand, at 34 years old, the guy is always available. He only missed 17 games in 3 seasons with the Bulls. He gets to the line. He's a bucket. So it would be kind of a wonky fit for a Lakers team that was bottom of the league with the Denver Nuggets in terms of three-point attempts taken. 3-point percentage, not great for the team. They bring in Dalton Connect to be a guy who could potentially shoot for them. They bring back D'Angelo Russell, who picks up his player option. He's a 3-point threat. That wouldn't be DeMar DeRozan's game, but as you mentioned, he is a SoCal native. So they're probably the odds-on favorites there. If not, you look around the league and you go, well, who has money? Not that many teams anymore because everybody already made some moves. So you're looking at the Hornets. I don't think he wants to go there. The Jazz aren't really looking to add. They're looking to sell. The Spurs, maybe he has a reunion there. 2 teams we're hearing recently, Joe, the Kings and the Heat. Like I said, the Kings, they're looking to upgrade, and the Heat, same deal. The Heat have fallen pretty far behind, at least on paper, in the Eastern Conference, so keep an eye on them as well.
Yeah, he's masked a lot of inefficiencies in Chicago. Perhaps he could do that for LA as well. Let's hear from Lakers GM Rob Pelinka on how the Lakers might reconstruct.
If the right deal comes and we have to put in draft picks, we will. I think we've talked about it before. We're now in the apron world. We've seen, contending teams or championship level teams have to lose players. That's a result of the apron world we're living in. So does it make trades more challenging? Yes. Does it make good trades impossible? No. So we'll continue to pursue upgrades to our roster.
No news is no news. The Lake Show busy introducing new coaches and players, but as we've talked about here, yet to land any free agent additions. The franchise reportedly swinging and missing on this trio, including Klay Thompson, took that 3-year, $50 million deal in Dallas. John, we know what this Lakers roster is capable of, and it's far from a 5th ring for King James. LeBron still yet to put pen to paper on his personal extension. At this point, is that max deal extension pretty much admittance of free agency failure in your eyes?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is something that if you were reading the tea leaves where there was these rumors that, hey, all of a sudden LeBron James might be willing to pass up 3 years and $160 million at age 39, which probably his last chance to get a massive payday like that, in order to take a pay cut to sign Klay Thompson. Well, once Klay Thompson, as you mentioned, took that 3 for $50 with the Dallas Mavericks, then all of a sudden LeBron can go, well, you know what? I tried my best. I wanted Klay Thompson to come to the Los Angeles Lakers, but since he isn't, you should max me now. We already saw Bronny James just got paid on a guaranteed deal as the number 55 pick. Not wholly unusual, not wholly unprecedented, but for a player of his caliber that was like a little questionable, you would have expected maybe some non-guaranteed money in that deal. Rich Paul said, no, we're going to pay Bronny James, and now we're definitely going to pay LeBron James. So I think, yeah, you heard Rob Pelinka there talking about the apron world and how it's going to make team building more difficult. Well, yeah, welcome to your new reality, Rob Pelinka, because once you sign LeBron James to that max that he's going to want, yeah, it's going to make things a lot more difficult for a Lakers team that wants to improve, needs to improve in a loaded Western Conference, but going to be tough sledding.
The James trust in good standing. The roster, however, needs some work. John Gonzalez, we appreciate you.
Phân tích của chúng tôi. Sau đây sẽ là video hướng dẫn cách làm một chiếc quạt cầm tay giống như thế này nhé. Các bạn bắt tay vào làm cùng tôi nha. Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn cách làm một cái quạt cầm tay đơn giản nhé. Nguyên liệu của mình cần có đó là bút chì, thước kẻ, kéo này, compa, Bút dạ màu mình sẽ sử dụng hai màu sắc là đen và xanh như thế này nhá. Mình sẽ dùng để mình sẽ vẽ những cái họa tiết lên, mình trang trí cho cái quạt của mình cho nó được đẹp hơn. Và mình sẽ sử dụng cái thanh kẽm làm hoa này để mình sẽ cuộn cái tay cầm của quạt nhé. Thì mọi người nếu mà không có cái thanh kẽm này thì mọi người có thể cuộn bằng tay không cũng vẫn được nha. Các bạn chuẩn bị cho mình keo để dán nữa. Ở đây mình dùng là keo nến này. Keo thì mọi người có thể dùng bất kỳ loại keo gì cũng được nhé. Keo dán giấy hay là băng dính hai mặt thì đều sử dụng được hết. Tại vì mình sẽ sử dụng cái phần bìa màu này để làm. Thì cái phần bìa màu này rất là dễ dán nên mọi người dùng keo gì cũng được nhé. Ở đây mình đã chuẩn bị 4 màu sắc như thế này. Màu đỏ, màu vàng, màu xanh và màu hồng. Đây. Mình sử dụng 4 cái màu sắc này để mình tạo ra một cái quạt thật là dễ thương nhé. Rồi bây giờ mình sẽ bắt tay vào làm. Đây, đầu tiên thì mình sẽ dùng compa mình vẽ một cái hình tròn này đây. Mình vẽ vào. Kích thước tùy ý nhé, mọi người thích cái quạt to thì mọi người sẽ vẽ hình tròn to và ngược lại. Đây mình vẽ một cái hình tròn. Rồi. Sau đó mình sẽ dùng thước mình chia nó ra thành 8 phần bằng nhau. Mình dùng thước mình chia ra. Mình kẻ những cái đường vuông góc với nhau và đi qua tâm hình tròn là được nhé. Đây mình tiếp tục mình kẻ. Cứ làm lần lượt từng đường một. Rồi mình tiếp tục mình kẻ vào. Còn 2 đường nữa là xong. Một đường cuối. Rồi sau khi mà kẻ xong hết rồi thì mình sẽ kẻ nối ở bên ngoài viền. Đây. Mình có những cái đường mình đã kẻ đấy thì bây giờ mình nối lại với nhau. Nối hết tất cả các cái cạnh viền này lại nhé. Mình tiếp tục mình nối này. Làm lần lượt cho đến hết. Tiếp tục nối lại. Rồi một đường nữa là xong. Bây giờ mình sẽ cắt cái hình này ra nhé. Sau khi nối xong hết thì mình sẽ được một cái hình bát giác rất là xinh. Giờ mình sẽ cắt nó ra. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ cắt một cái đường thẳng ở bên này trước này. Rồi bây giờ mình sẽ cắt theo những cái đường đã vẽ. Mình cắt những cái đường thẳng là được. Cắt lần lượt từng đường một. Đấy, cứ cắt lần lượt ra cho đến hết nhé. Tiếp tục cắt. Cứ làm lần lượt cho đến hết. Những cái này nó chỉ là đường thẳng thôi nên rất là dễ cắt. Mình đưa những cái đường kéo cho nó dứt khoát là được nhé. Rồi, mình bỏ phần dư đi. Mình được cái hình bát giác như thế này, mình sử dụng mình làm quạt. Bây giờ mình sẽ làm phần tay cầm. Mình tận dụng luôn cái phần bìa dư khi mà mình cắt cái hình này ra. Dư một chút bìa này, mình dùng làm cái tay cầm nhé. Sử dụng cái thanh kẽm này. Mình đặt vào một đầu và mình sẽ cuộn vào. Đây mình cuộn tròn vào. Cứ cuộn lần lượt cho đến hết. Đấy, mình tiếp tục mình cuộn. Rồi, sau đó thì mình sẽ dán một chút keo vào. và mình áp vào. Mình áp vào. Mình sẽ được một cái ống giấy rỗng như thế này nhé. Mình dùng làm cái tay cầm của quạt. Mình sẽ bóp bẹp một đầu. Sau đó mình cho chút keo. Mình cho chút keo và mình áp vào. Đây mình sẽ được cái phần quạt cơ bản rất là đẹp như thế này nhé mọi người. Rất là xinh rồi. Bây giờ mình sẽ làm các phần trang trí mình gắn lên cho nó đẹp hơn. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ sử dụng cái phần bìa màu vàng này. Mình sẽ dùng con pa mình vẽ một cái hình tròn lên đây. Hình tròn này nó sẽ phải nhỏ hơn cái hình bát giác này là được nhé. Đây mình vẽ một cái hình tròn. Các bạn vừa xem xong video phân tích của chúng tôi. Sau đây sẽ là video hướng dẫn cách làm một chiếc phong bao giống như thế này nhé. Các bạn bắt tay vào làm cùng tôi nha. Keo lên cái phần nẹp này nhé. Mình dán keo vào. Và mình áp xuống, mình dán cố định lại. Xong, mình sẽ được cái phần phong bao rồi. Bây giờ mọi người mở ra nhé. Mọi người cho đồ vào đây này. Cho tiền lì xì. Hoặc là cho phong thư này. Cho thiệp này. Nói chung cho gì vào đây thì mọi người cho. Sau đó mọi người gập cái đường này xuống và mọi người dán niêm phong lại là được nhé. Phần đằng trước này. Đây, mình sẽ đến này mình trang trí cho nó đẹp hơn. Mình sử dụng hai cái phần màu này nhé. Mình đã chuẩn bị sẵn rồi. Bây giờ mình sẽ sử dụng để mình làm phần trang trí. Mình đánh dấu vào kích thước này. Mình đánh dấu lại cái chiều dài của cái phong bao. Rồi. Bây giờ thì mình sẽ dùng thước mình kẻ. Một đường nữa bên này. Xong, bây giờ mình sẽ dùng kéo cắt họa tiết mình cắt ra để cho tạo một cái đường cho nó xinh nhất. Mình sẽ cắt cái đường này ra đã. Mình cắt ra. Bỏ phần dư này đi. Và bây giờ mình sẽ cắt theo cái đường đã vẽ. Đây kéo cắt họa tiết nha mọi người. Kéo đường răng cưa như thế này. Trên thân kéo sẽ có in cái đường mô tả đường kéo khi cắt ấy. Thì mọi người nhìn trên thân kéo và mọi người chọn mua cái loại kéo họa tiết cho phù hợp nhé. Nó có nhiều đường lắm. Đường răng cưa này, đường sóng này, đường rích rác, đường hoa. Đấy thì các bạn thích cái phần họa tiết như thế nào thì các bạn sẽ mua cái loại kéo cho nó phù hợp. Mình tiếp tục mình cắt cái phần còn lại ra. Đấy, cứ cắt lần lượt cho đến hết. Tiếp tục cắt. Rồi mình sẽ bỏ cái phần dư đi nhé. Bỏ phần dư đi. Mình được cái hình rất là xinh đây rồi. Giờ mình sẽ dán cái phần này lên, mình trang trí cho cái phong bao của mình. Mình bôi keo vào. Rồi bây giờ mình sẽ áp vào chính giữa cái phong bao nhé. Mình áp vào chính giữa. Mình ấn xuống cho nó dính thật là chắc.